Hello, everyone. It's Sonia McDonald here, and welcome to Leadership with Sonia. And today I wanted to jump on and have a conversation around everything to do with leadership, but also, I think it's important we talk about what contributes to leadership today and what we need to be focusing on when it comes to leadership. And gosh, there's so many things happening at the moment in around the globe, and it's easy to be distracted. Uh, there's a lot of negativity, a lot of pain and trauma that's happening around the world. And gosh, and I'm seeing a lot of courage and I'm seeing a lot of compassion. And one of the reasons why we're championing kind, courageous, and inclusive leadership is I think that needs to be absolutely our focus at the moment. And we have our Outstanding Leadership Awards happening next week. And it has been an incredible process and journey with lots of ups and downs. When I started Leadership HQ 17 years ago, it was kind of like that ikigai moment. I am really passionate about building a world of greater leadership and greater leaders. My strengths are around having a voice and being a teacher in the space of everything leadership, and something that I am really committed to because I don't know about you, but we do definitely need more leaders. And it's a question I ask every time I'm running a workshop or I'm speaking at an event. Do you think we need more leaders? And yes, we do. And I think one of the challenges we have in this leadership space today is that we see a lot of negativity. We do see a lot of this CEO's doing this wrong, or this leader's doing this wrong, or this politician's, not doing the right thing. It's really challenging to see. We do see a lot in terms of social media, in terms of the news, a lot of negativity when it comes to leadership. However, I know there is lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of amazing leaders out there. And I've been interviewing lots of them recently on my Leadership, on my lives, Leadership with Sonia. And in the podcast, we are going to be showcasing and celebrating lots of these great leaders next week in Sydney at our Gala Awards event. And I'd have to say the one thing that really stands out about all these leaders that I am meeting and all these leaders that we have as part of these leadership awards and all the leaders that we have been working with over a number of years is that it's definitely that they see leadership as being about serving others. They definitely see that they felt, and I suppose this is why, when I think about why I started Leadership HQ, they felt that we need to do something to change the world. We need to make a difference, no matter how small. So it is definitely about servant leadership. How can we serve others? How can we make others better? How can we lift others up to be more, do more, and learn more? The other thing I'm seeing is definitely kindness and compassion. And people see kindness as kind of being a little bit soft and a bit of a weakness, and it's not. It's actually a superpower. One of my favorite quotes is by Brené Brown, and she says that you can still be kind as a leader and be clear. Being unkind is being unclear. Being unclear is being unkind. Being clear is being kind. And I think that's how you can see kindness, but also kindness around gratitude, kindness around how you can, in terms of your words and your actions, do something great or good for someone else, right? I think that's really important. So I'm definitely seeing, and even with all these people that are part of our awards platform next week, we're seeing so much kindness, so much giving, so much serving of others. And a lot of people say, how can I do that? I mean, it's just everyday kindness. Paying for someone's coffee in line, a stranger, talking to someone in line or in an elevator or at Coles, or, just someone that's serving you, saying thank you and showing gratitude. Also, I think it does start with self-kindness, but anyway, that's another topic. So definitely kindness and compassion are what I'm seeing. And interestingly enough, a few months ago, I met with someone remarkable in the people and culture space. As soon as I met her, she had this complete and utter warmth about her. She works for one of the big four, and we got to talking about leadership and about the both of us in terms of how much we love leadership and how we see how leadership is an honor. It's not a role or title, it's a responsibility, it's an honor to help others, right? And to serve others. And she spoke about that she uses the word love a lot, and I really love that. I said I was going to steal that. That, sometimes she says, like, the partners look at her and go, no, we don't want to. And it's like, not love in a romantic way. It's like, you've got to love people. You've got to care for others. It's kind of like, it is a little bit like children. You're not gonna like your kids every day, but you still have to love them and care for them. It's the same with, when you're leading a team or working with others. You have to really care about others. So a lot of the leaders that I find are remarkable at leadership is that they really care and love their people, and that's evident in some of the role models that I follow. One of them, Paul Scarra. He's a speaker next week at our gala event at our Global Leadership Awards next week, and I wrote about him in my book, First Comes Courage. And honestly, and I hadn't met him before I'd written the book, but I'd heard about him and I'd heard all these great people saying all these great things about him. And I was watching his courage during COVID and with Virgin Australia. And since sending him the book after I wrote about him, it was great just, being able to connect with him. He was a finalist in our 2022 awards. And he loved the award so much. He said, look, I really want to get involved. And now he's our keynote speaker. But everyone that I've spoken to, and every time I speak to him about leadership, he truly loves his people. And the thing is, every time I take a Virgin flight and I talk about him, everyone at Virgin says, we love him, we miss him. So, that's just a great role model, like someone that just oozes leadership because he really loves leadership. He really loves to serve others. So there's just a couple of great examples of people that have been like fundamental in leadership. I think also courage is a big one. So I've spoken about kindness and love. Courage is so important when it comes to leadership. How can you be more courageous? How can you use your voice? How can you face adversities? How can you keep staying focused on purpose? Yesterday I spoke to on our podcast, the CEO or the managing director of Good 360. And it was so great talking to her about leadership and courage and kindness. She mentioned kindness as well, but she talked about the courage during COVID. Like, they work with 4,000 different charities and having to be able to serve and help Australians during COVID. And the courage she showed was amazing. Like many of us, right? That is leadership, being truly courageous, being vulnerable, making mistakes, showing up and being seen. I think that's really important. And finally, being inclusive. I think that it is about how do we make sure that we are being inclusive of everyone, embracing everyone's differences, everyone's strengths, everyone's uniqueness, regardless of race, gender, age, culture. At the moment, because I know in terms of, I've been kind of going, what does inclusivity mean to me? And I've been doing a lot of research and reading around the aging population and how inclusive we are in terms of, race and culture and everything to do with diversity, D&I. And I was recently listening to a book called From Strength to Strength about, as you get older, where's your purpose in life and what's your journey in life. And it was great listening to this book. And I think there's real power in us really, again, embracing and being inclusive of the aging population as well, and also the different perspectives and intelligence that they do bring to our organizations and community. So how are we being more kind, how we're being more courageous, how we're being more inclusive? They're kind of the three things that I think we need to be focusing on in 2024. And I think that in particular, If we think about as well, there's a real focus on the psychosocial hazards and risks. And these are the things that I think we need to be teaching right at school, at university. Stay tuned because I've got some ideas around that. And because, again, I am seeing that there are leaders out there that are not leading with kindness and compassion. They're not leading with love. And they're not leading with being inclusive, and they're not leading by being courageous in terms of speaking up and being clear with kindness, right? I am seeing some behaviors which I think are not leadership focused. I put a poll up the other day, which just blew my mind, about, have you ever been bullied at work? And I think I had something like 500 votes, and 92% of people said yes. They had been. I mean, really, like, we're living now in a time where people are still being treated really poorly or being bullied. This has to stop. And with this legislation coming out, really get your head around it, because it's really important that we're taking care of our people, and we're actually thinking about our leadership, especially if you are in a traditional leadership role. How are you showing up? How are you using your words and actions to inspire others to be more, do more, learn more? How are you connecting and communicating with others? Are you doing it with kindness and compassion and with love? Anyway, some things I think I want you to think about. But if you want to find out a little bit more about how we can help, or if you're looking at some more information, definitely around everything I've spoken about when it comes to kindness and leadership and courage, please reach out to me. And also the team at Leadership HQ, if you're looking for a speaker or a teacher or coach at your next event or workshop, reach out to me and the team at soniamcdonald.com.au or leadershiphq.com.au. And remember to lead with love. And I think that, it starts with you. It starts with us. But that's another talk, a Leadership with Sonia series talk that you will be hearing very soon. And thanks for listening today, and stay kind and courageous.